Hey, it's the champ Antonio Tarver. You're listening to Tarver's Take, the most informative take in boxing. Just remember where you heard it first. I want to jump right back in with the recap, man. The big fight we had this weekend, Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga. Unanimous decision win by Canelo. He dropped Edgar Berlanga in the fight early. Berlanga got up. He stood tall in the paint, and he competed. He competed, man. So hats off to Team Berlanga, man. They named stay in the top of the echelon of the super middleweight division. He showed a lot in that fight, man. I was surprised that his jab was as effective as it was. I think he could have used that a lot more. And we never did see any combinations coming behind the jab. I think they got to get back to the drawing board, get those lessons and try to become a more complete fighter. I mean, there's a lot of work to be done, but they definitely have a lot to be proud of from his performances. I personally thought, once Canelo experience kicked in, I thought he'll probably get him out of there. I had it round 5, but I was, when Berlanga took that shot, stood up and came back, he showed me something. He showed me something that he had that I didn't know he had. That's resilience. You feel me? So that's something that they can build on, but definitely lessons have to be made. Canelo moves on. He wants Bivol. I've gone on record and personally gave my opinion about that, but hey, you can't, the champ got his own, desires in mind, and that's the most important thing. You know what I mean? But personally, I'm with the fans. I would love to see David Benavidez sometime next year. And, even Terrence Crawford becomes a valuable opponent right now. You feel me? So we'll stay tuned to that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, kudos and hats off, to Amazon Prime pay-per-view and Premier Boxing Champions. They gave us a hell of a card this past weekend, loaded with a lot of familiar name and faces, and these guys showed up and showed out, man, and they performed. You know what I'm saying? The co-feature, man, Lara versus Danny Garcia. That fight gave us everything. You feel me? It showed Lara at 41 still has what it takes to, outbox and outsmart these guys. You feel me? Still have his feet, and his movement is still there. Very crafty guy. I knew going into this fight that if Garcia couldn't get past that jab, it was going to be a nightmare, and it was. You know what I mean? We saw what happened, how it ended after getting dropped. I think that drop was a perfect time, left hand, I'm sorry. And it just caught him right on the top of the forehead. Sometimes that dazes you, but I think it was an overall frustration, as well as, Lara, tagging him, consistently, and that weighs on you, especially when, like I thought leading up to the fight, the long layoff, of course, I've gone on record and I stated how I feel about those, but, it's Danny, I think really had already evolved and pivoted, outside away from boxing. And, after 2-year layoff, it's kind of hard to dust those gloves off and really, get back to that mountaintop. And I think all of the fighters that have really, sacrificed and committed and dedicated understands what I'm talking about. That mountaintop, man, where only you can go. You know what I mean? It's hard, but when you look at Danny Garcia, man, he's going to be okay no matter what. Very smart entrepreneur. I think I spoke on that on Tarver's Take. And I think, for all young fighters out there, man, I think you should try to pattern and map your career out like Danny Garcia. Very successful entrepreneur, have a lot of businesses going on outside of boxing. So he's going to be fine, man. But, like I said, man, as a fighter, we want to go out, we don't want to go out like that. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't officially announce his retirement, and that's always up to the fighter. We knew he moved up in weight, you know what I'm saying? after that long layoff. But he may want to go back down to 54 and see what he can do. We don't know. But the way it ended, man, I would personally, I wouldn't be surprised if he just, packed it in and say, you know what I mean? I got enough going on outside of boxing. I think he started his promotional company. He's done a few shows in Philly. So, Danny going to be okay, man. So we don't have to worry about that. And on the other fight that I had headlined was Caleb Plant, man. It was really nice to see him, show up and show out, man. He really put on and really represented himself very well in a fight that, Trevor McCumby came in undefeated, but we really didn't know a lot about him. And I said, I had seen him get dropped before. I didn't know if it was a clean shot he just walked into or if his chin was suspect. Well, I can truly say that the guy has a chin. He really took some shots, and you saw how Caleb Plant finished him beautifully. You know what I mean? Hurt him on the rope. His arm got caught up, and that was allowed Caleb to tee off, but the timing was near anyway. So there's no, question that the fight should have been stopped. Caleb Plant moves on. A more tougher than expected fight, I might add. You know what I mean? When you look at Caleb Plant and who he has done the ring with, and we didn't know anything about, McCumby coming in, you know what I mean? But sometimes, you got to dig deep. And I think Caleb had to go in his bag, man. As you can see, Caleb now, it looks like a much more entertaining fighter, now that he's gaining more experience and getting comfortable within himself and getting a little older. These guys slow down and you don't see them running around as much. So I love Caleb's style, the way he goes about mixing the boxing up with the punching. It makes him a fan-friendly type fighter, man. So we're going to be on the lookout for Caleb Plant as he gains the interim title and puts his name back in the mix. Now, when you look at Berlanga and Plant, man, that's one hell of a fight, man. I think we all can look forward to it. If they get that fight signed, I think that one can be a headliner on any day. You feel me? And I'd love to see that fight, man. You can see styles make fights, and that would be one entertaining matchup. Yeah, I mean, so there you have it. You've been listening to Tarver's Take, man. And like I said, I've been itching for Bivol and Beterbiev. I can't wait. It's on the way. We still a month out. But please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Tarver's Take. The most informative take in boxing. Just remember where you heard it first. Until the next time, stay tapped in, and I'll talk to you then.